Welcome everybody to our favorite chess stream. Acerbate is white. Let's change this to Masters database. Alright. Welcome everybody to our analysis stream. Little light on the gift subs this week, so if someone would like to donate, support the stream, or my efforts to go to the World Senior Championship in November, appreciate it. Hot, man. I don't know how it is in northern Germany, dude, but it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit in my office, maybe more, with the aluminum siding roof we have here. But it's a dry heat, you know? It's like Vegas. Vegas, Budapest. Now, Saturday, it's going to be like Phoenix, Arizona in Budapest. We're going up to like 40... We're going up to 42 degrees Celsius on Saturday. Which has got to be, like, if it's not a record, I'd be very surprised. I don't know, dude. I am going to be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, welcome back for me. Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright. You played 25k. You found out today nearly 25 games of lichess. I have 24,000, dude, too. Don't I? That should be you're ahead of me. I have 24,077. Asterbeat's got me beat. Welcome, everybody. Where's Asterbeat? Total. Good to see you, Move 11. XL Poker. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to be doing game analysis tonight in the sauna. Forget pools and hot tubs. We have sauna. All right, stream title. I mean it. I'm not kidding around. In-depth analysis. Chess gossip equals ban. I don't, and I'm not interested in that. We're here to talk about chess, not People magazine. I really have no interest in Magnus Carlsen and his new interests in life. I don't know. I don't care. Your dreams were your ticket out. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Did I miss something while I was gone? It's 100 degrees. Can I survive? Maybe that should... Can Sludgy survive 100 degree plus streams? Click to find out. I think that's a better stream title. My studies. Excel Poker's first up. This is nothing. 42 degrees Celsius on Saturday. Alright. It's Excel Poker white against the Great Gambini. E4. Petrov's defense. So Excel Poker, oh no, it's a 3-0 game. Now we're really playing chess. Ooh, now we're seriously playing chess. 3 minutes to 3 minutes. Dude, that's a lot of time to really get in depth. I'm about to do like 15-minute analysis of a 3-minute game. You do the math. But anyway, alright. Excitement mounts here. Black responds with knight c6. And then, boom, the Halloween Gambit. You know what's funny, Excel Poker? I don't know if you remembered this. Because Excel Poker is here. I don't know if you remember this, but when you submitted this game, you actually submitted another game first. And the funny thing is, the guy that you submitted the first game against was all excited. He was like, oh, Great Master, I'm very flattered because I like added that game to the study first, and it shows like Sparkle Horse is analyzing this game on lichess or whatever when you click on the game, when you load it in or whatever. And the guy was like, oh, Master Sludgy, thank you. I'm so humbled that you would choose my game to analyze. And I was like, oh, sorry, dude. I just randomly had it submitted to me from your opponent. And now he's going to be like disappointed that we didn't do his game. But you know the really craziest thing about it? Like the guy that you played in the other game you wanted to submit knows me. I don't know who he is, but he referenced like meeting me at Hastings in like the 90s. And he actually was like, yeah, you used to hang out with the German guys at Hastings when you played in the 90s. So this is like somebody who I really like played Blitz with and must have remembered me like specifically, even who I was like hanging out with. Anyway, just thought I'd reference that kind of random story. Not too many people here on lichess are like, hey, I remember you from the 90s. Alright, water. went to the wrong glass. Now we have a problem. I only have one glass for Weir and Botter. Anyway, Halloween Gambit. I don't think this is sound, but we'll see. We'll save it for next week. Did we do a Halloween Gambit themed tournament once? For Halloween, right? We did. That was like last year. Here's an example of a 2200 played against Marcus Rager and lost. So, let's check the old lichess database. A mere 42,000 games with knight g6 versus 32,000 with knight c6. You might want to keep the c-pawn free to move. It's also not getting hit by a pawn itself. I just remember from my little knowledge that I've played this. It's the main line. And, yeah, so e5. Decent winning chances, like, if your opponent doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah. I guess. Carlos Guzman, not to be confused with De Guzman. Alright. Ricardo de Guzman. A little bit stronger than Carlos. De Guzman is an IM from Philippines, but alright. Knight g6, d5. I have... No, sorry, it was knight c6. Oh, okay. That's the normal variation. He played knight c6. I get it. Okay. So knight c6, d5, and now... That's the problem with knight c6, obviously. Yeah, this is why knight g6 is better than knight c6. Yeah. So e5 maybe just makes things worse. And you're saying people just get the piece back with bishop b4. Robert Bellin against Sigurdur Sigfusson managed to win here by giving back the piece. It is a sensible thing to do. Click. Giving back the piece, and it's like a scotch, basically. Damn, it almost transposed to a scotch for knights. D takes c6. B takes c6. That's crazy, dude. It transposes to the scotch for knights. Pretty funny. Sensible decision, though. You gotta take the piece back. Black could be more ambitious and play that. That's what Robert Bellin did and won. Robert Bellin. He plays crazy stuff, right? He's the guy who played f6 in the hyper accelerated dragon, like queen takes d4 f6. Isn't it? This is a guy. He himself plays crazy openings. Knight takes e4 is very provocative. It is the best move, apparently. This is an interesting line. Knight takes e4, queen d4, queen e7, bishop e3. And now black went really postal with f5, defending his g7 pawn. It's one way to defend your g7 pawn. That's wild. Apparently this is even better for black. Even that craziness. But anyway, this is all for fun. So he did an Alexander Ivanov thing. He played knight b8, e5, knight g8. I often reference this game where Ivanov, my friend, was playing some FIDE Master, and he played the two knights. I don't know why he was playing the two knights. Actually, that's really weird. Oh, there was a brief point where he was playing this like Gleck variation with g3. So Ivanov like played g3, and the guy like sacked his knight, like a reverse Halloween Gambit against him, and he started like hyperventilating. Knight e4, knight e4, d5, knight c3, and then both knights went back. This is really bad for white, actually. It would be the same thing just with g3 in. The game is in the database. It's Ivanov from 2000. I remember the tournament. It was a game 60. I think the computer says that black is better here. Yeah. Ivanov was just freaking out and hyperventilating, but won the game anyway. But you got the reversed Halloween Gambit. Here, knight takes e5. Here. This is an accurate push. Knight b8, and now e5. And again, black probably has a way to get back the piece, right? Sense and sensibility. Sensibility would dictate we try to give back the piece somehow, like queen takes f6. What about that? Is that a thing? But why doesn't he give back the piece here? Have some sensibility. The computer, why doesn't it like bishop c5? Jeez. I don't know, I was thinking about crazy stuff with like bishop g5. It doesn't like this line. Takes, queen e2 check. This is really surprising. The engine gives white a huge edge after simply trading queens. Wow. I wouldn't have thought it was that bad for black. White's, I thought, slightly better. The engine's giving like white a huge advantage there. So that's not a good way to sack the piece back. He can play bishop e4. I mean, queen e7 is weird, but playable. This would be fun. Queen e7, queen e2, knight g8. Now that's a really weird scotch. In any case, very interesting. Okay. Principled. Now. Bam. I get the feeling this is probably in some sort of book on the Halloween Gambit. Dude, that looks like a pretty dangerous move. I'm gonna seriously consider bishop takes d6 at this point. White's gonna mount pressure very quickly. I mean, f6, anybody? I just don't think f6, maybe knight f6 deserves consideration. That's still dangerous. Even like here is not ridiculously out of the question. Okay, so he takes, giving you time to mount an attack against f7, I would think. You gotta consider maybe bishop c4. Is this just too slow? I was just wondering, like, if there was anything here. We're down a full piece. You got me a Halloween Gambit. Yeah, you should have saved this for the holidays. How much compensation would we have here? Not enough, according to the engine. Alright, so I guess Excel Poker has to do what he did, which is recapture. Now this is a huge idea. That coming in there. Yeah, I mean, it looks like d6 is probably the right move. But I don't know what black should play. I mean, you're about to get the piece back no matter what, so... He frees up the d8 square for his king. I mean, I really don't know what to suggest for black here. Queen f6 looks bad. I mean, there is like queen f6, queen e6 check. Even this variation. I guess this wouldn't be good though. Black would be able to guard. Bishop takes d6. Okay, I've never analyzed this, but somehow queen b6 doesn't feel right. It may be too late already, like black's in big trouble. Alright. So queen b6 attacking this. I want to bring another piece out, but black has a like hiding place now on d8. So my first thought here is bishop f4 just protecting. The London. I don't know. There may be issues with this king getting, or queen getting trapped. But I mean, this seems like the most fundamental developing move. Keeping our options open, you know, you have both this and this. His king is stuck in the center. If queen takes b2, I mean, I don't believe for a minute that black's okay here. That's very doubtful. I would say you've got a knight move. I mean, like knight d5 looks like improved version. There we have bishop takes a6, so there's no knight a6. I don't know, this has got to be like better for white. +1 only. Unbelievable. Only +1. For example. So you played knight b5. Somehow that feels like we're not developing our pieces, but it sort of hems in the queen on b6. It stops that. You're threatening bishop e3. But is it enough? This is basically forced. You did read the stream title, right? Shaki, you might want to check the stream title. Knight a6. I'm not kidding. I don't want to be another, you know. That's nice. Charming. Thanks for being here. So bishop e3. Wow, this is a fantastic idea. Bishop g5. It's not enough that it's like 100 degrees here. But there's like pumped in like weird pop music coming from the park. No pumped in pop music, please. On like the hottest day of the year. I don't need to hear that. The stream title implies that? I thought it didn't. I don't know, man. I think it's pretty clear. Magnus Carlsen gossip equals ban. I really don't know how much clearer I can be. Dude, where is that music coming from? It's really annoying. I can't close the window because it's 100 degrees outside. And they're blasting some kind of like awful, slow MTV pop music. I don't know where it's coming from. Dude, it's like torture. Bishop e3 looks good. Oh, you had to refresh, yeah. Check the new title. Bishop e3, yes. Queen c6. So, I mean, obviously queen a5 check is possible. Maybe you should consider it. I mean, it basically gains a tempo, doesn't it? c3. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that's right. Maybe the queen is like likely to get trapped out on a5. That's the other problem. It's not just his king, but his queen. Remember, folks, what did we learn this week, Mr. Coffee? What did we learn this week about relationships? Divorce early and often. Man, I'm spazzing out and clicking all the buttons. Get rid of that arrow. I made an arrow somehow. How do I get rid of that? Alright, there it is. Yes. Divorce. So the king and the queen are divorced here. But they might soon be, like, dead. Nah, that doesn't look good. Okay, so queen c6 looks better. It's more in the center. Now white needs a way to put black away, but I don't see it. Don't see it. How is Shaki gonna... Shaki, because Shaki's in the chat. How is Excel Poker gonna put him out here? Divorce is not death. Separation anxiety. Marriage is... Alright, I mean, just a nice move. Queen d4. Remember, this is a 3-minute game. The power of the centralized queen. You are hanging your pawn on c2. But if black takes it, is he literally, like, doesn't even have a single square, right? Boom. Saeed's. Yeah, bishop e2 is okay, but this is even better. There is a funny move here, though, this. I don't think that's healthy. It's safe to assume black's lost. After queen takes c2. Not an option. I mean, black needs to develop what's left of his position. Life, I'm currently in a queenless middle game. The fun's only beginning, okay. Black develops. Very wise. Castle queenside. Black's having little trouble getting the rest of his pieces out. So what can we suggest? Like b6? I would say b6 maybe. Now Saeed's maybe the bishop e2 type idea starts to look particularly good. I mean, this is just... doubt it. I really doubt... I mean, you could play queen e4. You know, the one thing is, like, white really doesn't want to trade queens. It might even not be that bad. Like, you could have compensation even in a position like this. Possibly. Exactly, Mr. Coffee. Didn't mean to get you on the subject. Didn't mean to get you on the subject. Sorry, buddy. I was just joking around. So queen e4 right away. And now bishop c4. Because trading queens is not always a bad idea. He trades queens. The rook is coming to the center. Bishop takes. Hello. Oh man, yeah. Now you took on f7. I missed that. I thought you were gonna have to like play your knight to c7 to threaten mate. So this is a really crushing move. Because now we're threatening bishop takes f6 check and rook e8 mate. That's pretty much perfect. Bang, bang, dead. Alright, good game. Very good, very good. Spectacular Camel just resubscribed for 35 months. Almost 3 years. Where did the time go? Only 3 years? Spectacular Camel seems longer. Take it off. Take it off. Where is everybody? Now, I don't know if this player is here, but Big Dummy submitted the following game against me. You big dummy. Move 11 always comes in and then leaves. I can't stand this crappy pop music. Stop. Is it really coming from outside? Hold on. Alright. We're back. Game 2. Please, God, I don't want to listen to Kanye West songs or something out there. Even he's not that bad compared to most pop music. But still. Alright, it's grating on my nerves. Next game. Big Dummy's black. E4, C5, knight F3, D6, D4, take, take. Here, knight F6. You know, I have the weirdest feeling I went over this game on the stream already. I don't understand it. I got this weird, creepy feeling I already went over this game. Like, we're redoing the same game again. You guys gotta tell me if anyone else remembers. Because Big Dummy just submitted this. And it's always painful to, like, analyze games you lost. But I really feel like I already analyzed this game. Like, it's like doing it all over again. Did you get my game, Budapest, buddy? I don't know. I think I put a game in there. Schumacher. So yeah, I played white here just to avoid mainline dragon. Who is Big Dummy? I don't know. He's a subscriber. But he, I forget his Twitch name, offhand. I hate when people put their wins against me in my subscriber stream. But in particular, I feel like I already analyzed this game. Anyway, castle, bishop g5, knight c6, knight b3, bishop e6. This is all main line. f4. And so it looks like, yeah, b5 is main line. Okay. So instead of f4, maybe f4 is not the best. I'm supposed to play king h1 first. Yeah, maybe you're right, XL Poker. Maybe that's what it was. I think you're right. Maybe you in fact even remembered. I think you nailed it. I must have gone over the game briefly after the simul, because this was played in a simul. I thought it was one of the most like spectacular games. So that's what it was. So basically I have to do a second analysis of the same like horrible loss. But I am supposed to play king h1. Once my friend David Vigorito, I remember he had the same position against Dave was black against Fishbein, Grandmaster Alex Fishbein, and the variation in question was b4 f5. I mean f4 b5. b4 f5. I'm totally... You know what? Extensive heat makes you do stupid stuff. Like I couldn't add 4 times 4. I mean I couldn't like calculate 4 times 4 today. I remember this was definitely their game. f4 b5. And black is okay. So this is a mistake like straight off the bat. Big Dummy's supposed to play b5. He didn't even play the best move. He played rook c8. But I guess after king h1 now we probably transpose. Well, we don't, right? Because now he really can't do b5. It's not a transposition. He missed his chance to play b5. So he plays a6, which is the best move according to the Opening Explorer by far. This like old style move, knight a5, allows tricks with e5. You know, you have to be careful you don't drop a piece, like take, and like take on a5. But this is like the end of my analysis knowledge. I don't really play the classical dragon with white. All I know is that like bishop g5 is supposed to be the best. So I played theory, bishop f3. Now apparently he knows 12 moves of classical dragon theory, which, you know, I'm surprised by, because most people, you could play your whole life. I mean, honestly, like you could play like 100,000 games, like 30 years worth of lichess games as a 2093 on lichess, and probably never get like a 12 moves of the classical dragon with black in this. You could probably never get this position because literally almost no one plays it. I'm just kind of old school and I've had it played against me, so I know it because I played the accelerated dragon and the classical dragon with black. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't even know it. But I mean, he knows the theory even beyond what I know. So knight d7 is apparently the #1 move. And here I like innovated because I'm out of book. Not to interject, but today I was confronted with a true brilliance that is will. Just saying, it is a remarkable moment when one is stunned by another's depth of understanding. Thank you, Asterbait. So I borrowed the following move from a very old chess base series. Chess base. No, chess base sucks. A very old chess life and review article by Leonid Shamkovich when he was still alive. He did a series on like the Skaveninga, and there was some line where he was in a similar structure with white, you know, recommending this transfer of the rook from f2 to d2. No relation to r2 d2. But I'm just totally making this up. Like this would be a normal move. Okay, the first thing is why didn't I play the quote-unquote normal move? I mean, black can play like bishop c4. And I'll probably have to play this anyway, although you could consider rook g1. You could consider, you know, this or anything, but all the above, like there is no, like, I don't know, queen e1 doesn't seem right either. So the common move for white here, it's just like ugly. I mean, it's lame and ugly looking, rook b1. Gennady Timoshenko, the old school, the old Timoshenko, against Bartsai Laszlo. Man, it's not exactly a list of the best players of all time here playing white. What does this tell us? It tells us that nobody plays the classical dragon, which is what I'm saying, you know. Basically, you could play for 100 years, like a million games, and not get one game in this position. It was the second time that I played it against Tomato Farmer, though. So to be fair, like the first time I was surprised by how well he knew it. And I was so thrilled by that that I played it like a second time. Okay, rook b1. I don't know who I'm playing, though. That's the other problem. You got to remember, I do the simul games in Zen mode, so I don't know I'm playing Tomato Farmer till it's like move 20 or something. I mean, I'm hoping it's like Acerbate, but we are stunned by Acerbate's eloquence, I have to say. His literatic, is that a word? Eloquence. Literary eloquence. Anyway, this move feels awkward to me. But I wanted to circumvent any kind of threats with knight b4. Bring the rook to the d file. Try to pressure here. But for some reason, once I got there, I changed my mind. Is there any... You know, this looks weird, I have to say. It looks weird, and it is weird, but... Maybe we can make it work, you know, like queen e1, and the other rook to d1, and we're just like doubled up here. My queen makes the transfer, and everyone's happy. You know, this move doesn't look like a safe way to play. But who knows? You know, maybe black could do something like f6 and tuck the bishop back on f7 like a Grunfeld. Anyway, I feel like that would have been slightly more consistent. I played this. And now black plays knight a5. Which is a normal move in this type of position. And suddenly, you know, the problem is Acerbate gifted... Oh, Tomato Farmer's not even a subscriber. He gifted a tier 1 sub. Acerbate, the only player to gift any subs this week. Gifting a tier 1 sub to Tomato Farmer. But I mean, you know, obviously this is a huge problem because it's going to tear my pawn structure at the base. So I realize now, like, how serious this really is. It looks like white should have some attack, but I don't see it. I wanted to play this, but I just didn't see how the heck I was going to answer this move. Like, I'm getting ripped apart by knight takes b2. No, and whatever you do, I mean, it just doesn't look like there's anything here. Like, even like maybe f5 or something. Like knight takes b2, pawn takes e6. Is it possible? I have some crazy tactical resource here. Yeah, it's the only chance. Shit. This would literally be the only chance for me if that happened. But I was too worried about it. So this is a move I don't want to play. But I get low on time and simuls, and I did it anyway. Now we have a lot of pressure on c3. I think the rook takes is a serious threat. You know, probably like rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Black has a better structure. So I decided to play knight d5. I thought, okay, I can sacrifice the b2 pawn and then play like rook b1 and recoup my material investment. Plus I also have pressure here. So he trades queens, rook takes, and then you're like, okay, well at least I'm not going to get brutalized. It's an endgame now. And I honestly expected you to try something like bishop takes, right? I expected you to play bishop takes, pawn takes. Then I had this, though. So it's not so clear. It's not only the b pawn. He also has problems with e7. Rook e7, rook e7, bishop e7, rook e8 here. And I'm protected. That's what I expect to happen. Black doesn't have a lot of time. Instead he has this, which is controversial because he blocks his own bishop. And now black finds bishop h6, revitalizing the neighborhood. So, not what I expected, but I thought, okay, I'm fine now. You know, as long as he doesn't double my pawns, I can protect this. I don't know if I miss any tactics here with like f5 maybe? Is it possible this works? Well, I mean, I eventually did that, and eventually he just like tucks away here. This is like what happened in the game. It's unbelievable. Probably it's best. Wow, no. I had a really hard move to find, e5. This is not something I would have considered with low time. So I played bishop g3. This is a terrible square for my bishop, though. And then black just goes into like normal English Sicilian structure mode, b5. And then I guess I should just sit tight here. c3. Probably just c3. And white is okay. Repunj Bansa. Suspicious user. Who is that? Man, this is an amazing move though. f5 was probably bad, but you just play bishop f7. And now he has a great square for his knight. And this bishop is open. It just gets worse and worse. I don't understand why I didn't. I mean, I was afraid of this. And I guess this. I was afraid of the knight c5 maybe, so I decided not to play c3. But it's hard for white to find kind of a forward plan now. The following move isn't good though. I mean, structurally it's not good. My idea was to play bishop g4. I give up my pawn on f5, taking away from the center, leaving with an isolated pawn on e4. What is that? H takes g5, h takes g5. And now I went crazy. But this walks into f5. But I don't know if the following move is even good. After knight here, black could play a5, no? This is funny, he doesn't even play a5. It seems like he should push up this minority. And he doesn't even do it. That's the best move, actually. So knight b4 is really bad. My knight is in a good position in the center of the board. Yeah, I shouldn't have done this. I was just short of time now. Both short of time, but way worse than black. Black should play a5. It's a strong move, and he's just like better. But I was panicking. I saw this doesn't work tactically because of f5. I couldn't make this work. You know, takes. I don't know. It's just not convincing. So I'm in a very precarious position if I allow f5. And otherwise c3, knight c5 here, the fork here. I felt like I was just going downhill and I panicked and I played knight b4, but this is a bad move. He should have played a5. This is also good. But now I can play bishop g4. And every time I have a threat, he just like smoothly answers it. Now just simply rook a8. Always just smooth jazz radio. You know, nothing ever dramatic. Just keeping the perfect structure for black. Bishop f3, more smooth jazz. Rook a7, and then I was like, why is my knight on b4? I bring it back. King f8, very solid move. Rook, and now I have no moves. I don't know what to do. Rook fe2. Of course, this is a stupid move. I just want it to be solid. Rook b8. Okay, this is kind of a long game. I missed the tactic around here. Or a little later. I missed the tactic a little later. So this was a nice move by me. Knight takes f6. Hitting this tactic on d6. But the problem is, like, it doesn't blow him away. Right. King f8 allowed this. You made a mistake. But the funny thing was, it's not that devastating. I won a pawn, but he still has most of his structure intact. Bishop g7. Was it here? I don't have e5 here, do I? Maybe. Maybe that's the move that I forgot what we analyzed after the game. There was one moment I missed a very strong tactic. Well, I had the move earlier. Yeah, but there was another move later. I could have played it now. Okay. Because of king f8 was a blunder. Yeah, he was just trying to be solid, but he blundered the tactic. So it should be equal chances. I missed it, and then I found it on the second move. But I'm thinking like e5 here. Doesn't this work? Because I have pawn f6, bishop takes d6 check. This looks really strong. Yeah. Damn. We were both in time pressure at this point, and I didn't see it. So I played a really bad move now. Knight h7 check. Then here, and then back to g5, but it gives him time to coordinate. And then suddenly black is like doing alright. Rook d2. Bishop takes b2. And then there is another tactic. I don't remember where it is. There was some crazy move, like rook takes d6 or something. Was it here? That doesn't make sense, right? You would just play rook c8. Can't be this position. So bishop takes b2, rook d1, bishop c3. Does it work now? I have like bishop g4 or something. I'm gonna have to turn on the engine. I don't see it. I don't see the tactic out of hand. Offhand. There was something else I missed here. It's too late now. Yeah, I don't remember. I thought there was another one, but I guess it's just this. It was just that. I guess there was no other clear shot for me. I would have seen it on a good day with time. Man, I swear there was one other chance for me to get out of this. Now he's just like winning with the passed outside pawn. Okay, like final position. That was it. No, it's here. Alright. It was the final position. I resigned. I'm like getting, you know, the guy's queening his A pawn. I mean, what am I going to do? With two bishops controlling this, and the A pawn just free roam, free range A pawn, I thought, okay, I'm just lost. And I was flagging in all my games. But I had a tactic here. You know, E5 I looked at, and it just like drops a piece, you know. So, well, I can't do E5, I'm just basically busted. And otherwise, like, if I move my knight, I'm getting crushed by knight takes E4. So I just resigned. Yeah, that's crazy. I had this. This is crazy. Just when I resigned, I have a saving move. No, that's funny. I resigned in a position where I'm not lost. Yeah, bishop takes d6. The point is, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm still worse. I mean, the bottom line, okay, his A pawn is still better. Like, bishop takes g5, or what? Here. My pieces are, like, swarming, kind of. His d6 pawn will fall. He still has this very strong A pawn. But I guess I was looking at the other variation. Bishop takes g5. Oh, I'm just taking a rook. Yeah. But you played a really nice game positionally. Both of us made some tactical mistakes. But you should have been winning anyway. I mean, this wasn't necessary. Bishop f6 is just a blunder in time pressure. Putting your bishop in an attack position. There was no need to do that. You're totally winning. You know, so it was just like a terrible blunder by black. What if you just play a5? I mean, I have this trying to gain some counterplay, but it shouldn't be enough. I think you're just winning. Alright. Yeah, it was a good position for black. You outplayed me strategically. So we're on to acerbate the next game. So my stream title, guys, is it clear enough? In-depth analysis. Magnus Carlsen gossip equals ban. So analysis and no talking about like stupid clickbait. I just want to analyze chess games. Alright, acerbate is up next. Unfortunately, we only have like 15 minutes per game. Sweating to the oldies here. Oh man, it's hot. It's still 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Guys, please support the stream and donate. Donate. If I live beyond this heat wave, we're going to need your support. Help go to Italy in November when it's nice and cool. Don't forget to gift sub. Thanks Acerbate this week. 3 gift subs. We had Mr. Coffee 300 bits. Let's get a hype train going. After this, we have Friday, tomorrow morning Blitz, and you can challenge me on Friday morning. Also, geez, the guy's challenged me again. He's from Monaco. Monaco's flag looks like Singapore or Indonesia or something. It's weird. Please stop challenging me. We're not gonna play you or anybody. So Asturbate's up. This is his game versus Demon Tim or Damon. I need some water with my beer. If you're suffering from extreme heat, don't get dehydrated. I went to pee today, but I couldn't because I think I sweat out all the liquid in my body. All right, e4, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5. Asturbate variation, not really recommended. This is not as strong as the other lines. Knight c3 and knight f3 are the 2 main moves for a reason. d4 is like white's 3rd best move, but it gives black time to counterattack the center. So technically this is inaccurate, but Asturbate doesn't listen. No, I'm just kidding. He should worry about it. I mean, black has knight c6, followed by e5, equalizing. But instead, this. This is funny. I had the almost exact same game from one of the other players I worked with today. My other player played. Oh, he's not here. He's not awake yet. It was Hey, it's Miro. Hey, it's Miro had a game with knight c3, queen d8, knight f3, knight f6, white to play. And it seems like black's threatening c5, like it's a black Mardemer where white has a pawn on f2, as opposed to no pawn on f2. But I don't know, you know, pawn might be better than no pawn. But I mean, black's threatening to play c5 like he would in a black Mardemer. And not Excel Hooker. Hey, Esmiro played bishop g5. I think. No, I take it back. He didn't. I think he played this. Yeah, this is just lame. I don't like bishop e2. The pieces are too, like, clustered. Clusterfluck. A clusterflock. When you get a lot of sheep that are running each other over, it's a clusterflock. Scrambled sheep running for the exit doors. But anyway, we could transpose to that if you play knight c3 here, Asturbate. Anyways, c4, e6 is a bad move. Vasily Sikula. I've played these players. Perfect score. 2-0 against Sikula. 1 against Sikula, 1 against Donka. Donka Peter. So c4. Well, Magnus had this position. Shh. We're talking about Magnus. Talking about Magnus is boring. Alright, c4. Dude, what about queen a5 check? His queen is awkwardly placed. Only f5. Maybe that's the best option. Of course, queen f5 directly isn't as good, right? If you go here directly, how do you go there directly? Directly, I can play bishop d3 now. So check, probably knight c3. Okay. Oh no. That's crazy. The guy played queen e4. Yeah, I played these guys in Ketchkamet in completely different tournaments in a span of like 10 years or something. Donko I played in Ketchkamet in 1997. Actually, it was only 7 years. 97 versus 2004. 2005, I played Sikula. 2005, maybe. 97, 2005, that's only 8 years. I think you can bet the game was played in Ketchkamet. Just saying. Alright. Strange coincidence, right? Two opponents, you played in two different tournaments. They're playing each other. You played them both in the same place. Chances are, the game was played in that place. But queen e4 is like a totally absurd move by black. Donko Peter, just an amateur player. He just plays crazy stuff. And Sikula is like a grandmaster now. He was an IM at the time the game was played. This is a horrible move. Like, you have to play queen d8 here. I suppose queen a5 check is not as bad as queen e4. I suppose bishop e4 check is a reasonable alternative. When again, white should play knight c3. The problem is here, like queen e4 check, we play Asterbate's favorite bishop e3, and the queen is just misplaced. This is the best move, for sure. Alright. Queen e4 check, dubious, bishop e3, and now bishop e4 check. Okay, this move is reasonable. Knight c3, and now black shouldn't take unprovoked, necessarily. Yeah, it's a bad Scandinavian with e6. But I mean, certainly black doesn't want to play bishop takes c3 check unprovoked without a reason. Is white threatening queen a4 check? So if knight f6, queen a4 check, knight c6, queen takes b4, knight takes b4, knight takes e4. Well, I guess you could play this here. Hey, what are we doing here exactly? Check, knight c6, queen b4, knight b4, knight e4, knight c2 check, king d1, knight a1, knight f6, pawn f6, and then we walk over and we trap the knight, right? So white has two pieces, he's winning. Two pieces for the rook. This is winning. The other variation would be here, 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 and here. This is not as clear. Rhymes with here. Knight takes e3 and then knight takes e3? Oh, you have that. So here, here. Here, here. Here, 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 here. Yeah, of course. So, but I should play king d2 then. No, it doesn't work. Thank you for pointing that out. It's important. White has to play king d2, so knight takes e3 check. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm going to trap your guy anyway. I mean, after this. But good point. But there is another variation. Queen a4 check here. Queen b4, queen e3 check. Yeah, this actually looks playable. White's better, but not much better. One pawn max. It's playable. Well, anyway, so the moral of the story is that black can play this. He shouldn't trade this piece for nothing. This is a very bad move. You know, not as much as it could be. I mean, honestly, like, if the bishop's still on c1, it's even worse, because sometimes that bishop can come out here. But generally, you don't want to release the tension without a reason. So it's like a Chigorin. A kind of good Chigorin for white. Now, he's concerned about the safety of the queen, but I don't think that's our number one priority here. What's the number one danger black's facing here? Yes, getting his queen trapped. What's the number two danger black's facing here? His king being in the center, close, but probably like this pawn's like going nuts. White has really nice like rolling central pawns. I would think this d5 would be a big issue. Yeah, d5, the queen getting trapped, the king being in the center. There's a lot of bad things for black here. But he plays h6. I mean, seriously, you have three major issues and you're playing h6. I don't think that flies. There's too many problems for black here to have the time to play that move. I wonder if his queen is trapped. We're going to find out. Bishop d3, queen g4 now. The million-dollar question. Can Acer bot trap the queen? And the answer is yes. Acer. He can't trap the queen. It's getting away on h5. Oh, we need that d5 now. We're gonna need more gunpowder. Damn it, Jerry. The queen's not trapped. It has a5. It's getting out here. Shit. No, h3 is good, but he gets away. This is lost. He loses a queen. That's why I thought Asterbait was going to play this. The problem is this, and he's getting out over here. Unless we can... Yeah, this doesn't work. The problem is I was looking at this, and this. This is really annoying. He has bishop takes g4. If we could only like cut off his queen from escaping, but the stupid bishop g4 like messes everything up. So we can't cut him off. I guess you could cut him off with c5, but then he's got the d5 square, so it's just one problem after another here. I don't think there's anything better. You could play d5 in this position, but it's still not going to change anything. It'll still open this bishop up. So that's to be just castles. I don't see a queen trap there. Yeah, the computer just thinks like white has a massive advantage. There's no immediate win. Another horrible move by black. f5, h6, queen on g4. Knight blocking his c-pawn. So many mistakes. Now Asterbait played bishop e2. Well, you know, he does have one way out. That is a strong move, Holmes. Ooh. Maybe he can play queen e4? Black is lost here objectively, but I'm not sure he loses the queen by force. I guess queen e4 is a good try, objectively. The best try. I don't see how you're trapping the queen. The white has a winning position. Bishop e2 was a nice move by Asterbait. Retreating move. Very powerful one. Because after queen g6, bam! And he's got this. That's a beautiful thing. One could say it's like a perfect game. Acerbate's openings aren't necessarily incisive enough, but like once he gets out of the opening and gets coordinated, he plays a very good game. Excellent piece coordination. This is Acerbate's like greatest strength. The ability to coordinate his pieces. Middle game positions with piece coordination. This is very nice coordination. These two bishops together, the harmony here with like bishop on e2 and the tactic. Bam, bam. And black's just lost. I guess he has to play queen takes, check, and now, well, probably knight f7. But it's a really, really bad position. I mean, queen g6, rook h7, the only way, or king f8. It's all bad. So good game, Asterbate. It's over now. That just gives you an extra piece. That didn't help him. Yeah, math is not on his side. Rook b5. I think, you might want to seriously consider just blasting it open. I guess he did consider this, but probably didn't like e5. Can't say I blame him. This is a strong move. Probably hitting c7. You can blast it open with d5 then, because e5 will be controlled. Now he did this, but he has e5. Black has to try this. I think the only way to keep the game closed. Right. It's beautiful weather for a walk, isn't it? King takes e6. It's around 7:57. Nice. Aspie decides to sack the exchange here. A little bit on the fancy side. But you've got enough material you can afford it. Nice job getting all your pieces in the game. There's more than one way to skin the proverbial cat. Is there a mate here? Aspie hasn't been keeping up on his mates lately. He became very materialistic. I would think the old Asterbate would have played for mate. He's become like a pragmatist. Very materialistic. Bishop takes e3. Now h4 check. Almost random. Still no threat of mate. This looks materialistic, but he's actually threatening mate in one. And there it is. No, good game. I don't like this d4 against the Scandinavian, but it's playable. All right, you may consider continuing to play it. Eventually, you should graduate. All right, guys, it's only 100 degrees Fahrenheit in my office. No big deal. Okay, Said versus Het Grasmat. Or Het, if you say it in Hungarian. I'm gonna need a cold liquid or something. Alright. Asterbate is a Chad? Where is everyone? Guys, join the team. We're analyzing serious chess here. Why are there only 13 viewers? Seriously? 13 viewers like real chess? This is crazy. Only 13 players on lichess are serious about chess. Serious enough to watch my stream. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that only 13 people on all of lichess are serious about the game. So this is Said playing against the 1900s. So he's a heavy favorite here. 22 against 19. 30 minutes chess. Scotch. So according to someone else that I recently worked with, Gawain Jones has a series on the Scotch Gambit somewhere. I mean, I've always been bored with this because I worked a lot with Gingy, who promoted the hell out of this Scotch Gambit. Like, he did videos on it, and I was just extremely bored with this in the mid to late 90s. So I always found it kind of, not interesting. Everyone copied his videos, and they were playing this. This was extremely popular like 25 years ago. The other day against someone unsound. Oh, speaking of which, of course, move order is important too. Like, you might play bishop c4, but no, this is a proper Scotch Gambit. Yeah, I mean, but I think the Scotch Gambit, and honestly, if you got video, VHS tapes on this. I trained with a guy who like literally memorized like 20 move variations where he could like beat or draw computers. He knew it so deeply it was like 30 move variations in every line. It was kind of analyzed to death. I feel like, honestly, this Scotch Gambit, it literally has been analyzed to death. There might be some new ideas, but it's like reinventing the wheel. I mean, it could be like that it kind of got forgotten again, even though it was like insanely, like there was no viral TikTok videos in the 90s. But this was like the equivalent of like, if there was a chess TikTok opening, like this would be it. Everyone played the Scotch Gambit for like 10 years. Between like 1995 and 2005 or something. That this was, every club player, that's all they played. Because of Roman's videos. So I felt it was analyzed to death. But maybe now like enough time has passed that people have kind of forgotten. Personally, I say, yeah, knight f6, e5, d5, bishop e5, and knight d7. I've been promoting this for like a few years now, and like then if you check, this variation started to get popular. It's Bronstein's variation. So I think this is actually better than knight e4. Originally I just suggested it because it was different and less analyzed. But if you look at the statistics, it's actually better. I mean, white has a plus score, 33 to 27 with knight e4. But in knight d7, like, black has a plus score. So, and it's extremely solid opening for white. I would definitely play knight d7. Knight d7 is the best move. But now Gawain Jones probably analyzed it in depth. There are ways for white to combat even knight d7. But I think it's meant to be like a club opening. Is this main line? I would have followed up with c3. Oh, okay. You're talking about a different opening now, sir. Excel Poker, yeah, you're playing something else. Now, I think if you play c3, you have to talk to our other viewer, Someone Unsound. He's a big fan of that kind of stuff. Surprisingly, there's no games here with c3. I would think it would be a transposition. Oh, there is one game. Oh, instead of bishop c4. Okay, well, you're on like a totally different opening now. You're playing like the Danish Gambit, dude. This is the Danish Gambit, right? Are you Danish? Would you like a Danish? Or Goring Gambit, whatever. Same thing. Yeah, man, that's Someone Unsound's favorite. But it's coffee house, It's more coffee house. It depends on the level of coffee that you want. How coffee you want to be. Yeah, it's fine for 3-0 games on lichess, but I'm so oriented towards serious chess that I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. You played the Halloween Gambit, man. Whatever, you know. Yeah, but I'm not specializing in coffee house chess. You're watching the wrong stream. I like to have fun too, but I mean, I'm trying to be serious. The Scotch Gambit is like a real opening. Alright, but it's probably just equal. The problem is theoretically it's not enough for white. But what is? You know, what is enough? But anyway, Saeed has to be prepared, dude. I'll tell you now. Be prepared for bishop e5 knight d7. This is like definitely black's best line. So be ready. Knight e4 is like totally analyzed to death. Yeah, I'm convinced knight d7 is better. Yeah, the last time I saw this, my teammate Pal Petran, who's like a senior, like narrowly scraped out a draw against some kind of, who was formerly a really strong player. He like barely drew against like a 2200. You don't want to play this with black if you want to play for a win. You do not want to go like anywhere near this position. Now, I mean, Roman analyzed everything. Bishop c5 is like really aggressive, but again, that's also been analyzed to death. This is the safer move. Bishop takes c6, b takes c. Oh yes, castles is right. And then there's like different lines. So bishop c5 or bishop e7. I think I played c5 against Morales once. I don't know. I guess this is not considered like solid enough for black. But Gingy only analyzed like bishop c5 and bishop e7 extensively. I don't think he really like thought the other moves were good. He was the world's leading expert on this position, and I watched him play like hundreds of blitz games, like constantly. He literally had like 30 move variations prepared in every line. It's kind of Nimzovician. I mean, it's a positional based system. White has good control of c5. We try to use our kingside majority with f3, f4. But I thought it was played out. You know, I think I like this. This is most active. I'm just trying to see if I have a game here. Can I change the player, please? Yes. I want to see if I've gotten this position this far with black. Probably. Okay, so I have 4 games here. I have 4-0. But all of my opponents were, you know, significantly lower rated. Most naturally, you know, Morales is dangerous. So I faced bishop e3 once and f3. He played bishop e3. Is f3 a mistake for some reason? f3 is normal, isn't it? Like f3, knight g5. I thought that was normal. Yeah, they're both variations. You can also play this. Okay, here's Gawain Jones, first on the list. No, Excel Poker, I mean, it's all about the structure. Actually, the game is largely about structure. You've got the kingside majority. This pawn duo is the point. I won't be here for a while. Oh. Yeah, sure. Resident Spectator, we can do your game last. Or whatever you want. I'll hold your game, Resident Spectre. Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one is more accurate. There's 2 games by Jones. He likes system-y stuff, like the Grand Prix attack. Typical British Grandmaster. I'm not sure if bishop e3 is a mistake. It's a little like less aggressive. Yeah, so I don't really know this. Apparently black's not supposed to castle. But he has a good score after castles. So queen e7, attacking e5. Okay, so the one game I had here against Morales, I played bishop e6. I had the sense not to castle. This move, threatening c5, I thought was theory. I played f3, knight g5, f4. I've got 2 games. And this is like apparently a main line. Watching Gingy like play thousands of games like rubbed off on me. I remembered how it's supposed to go. So the point is f3 first. If the e5 knight ends up on e6. Well, you could certainly like, maybe gain time somehow. f3, knight g5, and now f4, bishop e3. Bishop e3 has a better score here. If you look at the statistics, it's pretty clear black's winning chances drop way down on bishop e3. f3 first, and then bishop e3. That seems to be the most accurate move order. And it's just Gawain Jones games. All over the place. Well, at least he's like doing a video on, he does a series on the opening that he actually plays. Like a lot of people just do random stuff. He also has stuff on the King's Indian, which is, Mr. Slow was recommending Jones's work on the King's Indian. I have somewhere, I think I have somewhere his King's Indian series, which I never ever watched. He has a video series on the King's Indian. I bought it and I never had time to watch it. So, that's probably slightly more accurate, maybe. Here, here, here. Castles. So committing to castles might be slightly dangerous for black. That seems to be the moral of the story. I had that feeling, that's why I played bishop e6. Not even being an expert. I know that it's dangerous. With bishop e6, it gives us some ideas to play c5. Do some counterplay. So this is like a very routine move, but you're looking at the pawn roller. So he's supposed to play f3. Oh. Computer evaluation is masked? Oh, the money bar. There is no computer evaluation, because I have it turned off. I don't like to keep it on all the time. But let me see if I turn it on. For more money, we can move the money bar. The money bar. That's so funny. For more money, I'll move the money bar. What's a 0.0 after knight g5? You can just see it. You should be able to see it now. You don't need to move the money bar. It's up there. I just have it turned off. Sachs played it in 1975. Sachs Planinic. So you played like a more solid move, I would say, knight d2. Exactly, only money moves the money bar. Gravity doesn't work. Divorce doesn't work. It's like... that's your greatest quote ever, Asterbate. Yeah, black played a really weird move here. Bishop takes d4. Black's like playing like a random 2200. Yeah, this is like Roman eats you for lunch variation. Gingy probably has this position. I mean, he used to experiment with different lines. He probably played knight d2. He knew like every variation 30 moves deep. He's still alive. I haven't talked to him in 20 years, but he's like got bad health and we don't agree with each other on a lot of issues, so I don't talk to him anymore. But But the guy like literally probably like won this position like 30 times with white. This is a totally dominating ops color bishop position where white's just better. It's very subtle. Guseynov against random guy. F5. F3. And then, I'll tell you, man, I don't know. I'd probably like trade knights here and take my chances, but he decided not to. Now F4. I don't know about that. I'm not sure if that's a good move. Black could go back to E4. Here. This looks like, you know, game over. I think Queen E7. Tactics. It's a nice move. So C5, you have chop chop Queen B4, right? A Gadira is a strong player. You just want to clear pawn there. But it's like he just watched the videos and then played, you know, his opening repertoire or whatever. I wonder if black should just trade knights here, you know, objectively. After F3, dude, you gotta take here and just take your chances. I would sack a pawn or something, I don't know. I guess it doesn't work tactically, damn. But anyway, I think that black should trade pieces and try to hang on. It's a very unpleasant position for black, clearly. But bishop takes d4 is a really bad move. So black should never play that move. I mean, this is a strong piece. This is like his good bishop, rather. So technically, like black's good bishop with a central pawn on d5. Queen e7. John Ludwig Hammer. Bunch of other players have played this. There seems to be a problem with knight d2. If the problem is there, it's this. So I guess you should probably play f3 and stick with the main line. The main line is the main line for a reason, it looks like. So what's up with knight d2? Computer? Yeah. Both bishop b6 and queen e7 are equal. Bishop takes d4 is blunder. Now you're definitely much better. And now c5. That's positional disaster. Right? Very, very straight up. So variation A is opposite color bishops with a good structure and a pawn up. Variation B is like knight versus bishop with d4 dropping. Super outpost, d4 dropping, game over. This is 1-0. You know, it's like thousands of games I watched Roman play. It's strategically over. There is a problem. You have f4. Yeah, if you take and he has bishop h3, hoppa. That would get a little hairy. Even there you might be winning with queen takes d5. I don't know, but I don't like it. Yeah. This is a strong move. f4, queen g6. Actually, this reminds me of a game I played against Zen Chess. This is a little bit weird. Maybe you have rook f2. Yeah, that's a nice move, man. That's a nice move. Holding everything laterally. Now I guess black should try d3. This is his last hope, probably. No, you don't want to do queen d5 here. You don't want to open the position, really. It's like Nimzovich had games like that where there was one famous game that Nimzovich played where he had the opponent had the two bishops, and he took a pawn and let the guy's bishops get active, and then almost got his opponent back into the game. You'd really like rather not take the pawn on d5 and open lines necessarily. Although we do have to watch this a little bit. I would think he feeds the pawn back with d3. You don't want to take with the knight. You're probably winning, but it's like kind of technical. I'd rather keep the knight. Keep the queen and knight. If this, you're much better. This also protected. But I think d3 is probably his best practical chance. After this looks really solid for white. Okay, it doesn't win itself. Much later down the line, at some point when you're ready, you might play c4. But, you know, you still need to win the game somehow. You don't have a passed pawn. Your majority's on the king side. So, if you can't win a second pawn somehow, you're going to have to work to somehow play like g4, f5, or maybe e6 or something. You have to, I mean, b4 is okay, but it's still not going to change the game. I mean, to win the game, you have to win by nature of your pawn majority. b4 is good, but it's not going to win the game. In order to win the game, you have to make these guys go through somehow, you know, over here. And you have total control of the board. Yeah, h5 strong. I have a very similar game against Zen Chess where I actually won in a training game we played. It's a nice blockading strategy by black. Yeah, I mean, king h1 is probably okay, because you have to play h3. Yeah, I don't know if black should play h4 or not. I don't think he has to. This, I don't know. You know, maybe taking is a mistake by black. White doesn't ever really want to like destroy a structure by taking on a5. And if you take here, if black takes on there, you might take away from the center and go with the passed a pawn, because you have his central pawn, like, even though it's protected passed. It's riskier, but I think you should seriously consider this. You know, you give him protected passed pawn, but your a pawn is like monstrously strong. That's very tricky to calculate. You know, you played the safer move, but now you have a passed pawn. You know, now you both have passed pawns. So it's possible this is stronger. Yeah, that's a tough decision, but I don't think that black has to take. His mistake is taking. You know, why does he have to take? Are you going to take on a5? He shouldn't take. Black should play some sort of waiting move here. You know, I don't know. Queen h7, just for example. Now, are you going to take this? No. Are you going to play a4? Okay, maybe. But then what are you going to do? You know, are you going to take this? Just, let's not put the queen on h7. I don't know. Let's put it somewhere better, like h5, whatever. Let's say, I don't know you want to take that pawn on a5. This will leave your pawns like weak and isolated, even if you're up a pawn. I'm not sure, you know, you want to do that. So my point is that I don't think that black should play pawn takes pawn. And maybe you should take back this way. Okay, you took with the a pawn. Now he makes a really... Well, I don't know. He doesn't have that many moves. His rook is... Yeah, this is not a bad move. I mean, grabbing the a file looks obvious, right? For black. But I'm not sure this is bad, necessarily. You grab the file, he grabs the file. I guess it was bad, but now you're going to have to worry about your king side. He's got in here. He might have, like, perpetual check at least. Yeah, this is looking like you definitely should have. You definitely should have taken with the c pawn. You can kind of hold with maybe a move like rook e3. You take with the c pawn, put your other rook on e3, and I think you keep him from like penetrating in. And maybe, hopefully, you have threats of e6 at some point. You might be able to sack that pawn to break through. But white is clearly better. Yeah, this looks like a mistake by black, though. He gave you the A file. Still he has counterplay. Yeah, he still has in here. Because this... And you don't have a passed pawn. That's the problem. How are you going to win without a passed pawn? You're just not winning here. And actually you have to be very careful. Where is Ars? He had heat exhaustion, probably. He went to a rally for Putin? I don't know, man. I got really angry with him for arguing with me the other day, but we're okay now. You know, I just shouldn't even ever take anything seriously. Spectacular Camel just gifted. Wow. Dude. Thank you, Spectacular Camel. I should make Spectacular Camel a mod in the channel, really. Although he's not here that often. He's a really reliable guy. Speaking of mods... Spectacular Camel gifted tier 1 subs to Soren Zalomas. I'm speaking Hungarian. TBA, listen here. Swift Breeze, an empty bag of stories. Nice job. Well, lately you've been playing a lot of video games. You haven't been here that much. But this is nice, man. Thank you. 4 gift subs. This was an interesting game by Saeed, though. It shows like he's slightly overextended. Without a passed pawn, I don't know how we can win, and we actually have to be careful. Knight b7 is reasonable, but he might have this. What about bishop e4? We lose a rook. Other than that, it's good. All right, gotta move the rook. Here. Now bishop e4 is not good enough. But what about sacking a piece? Oh, it is good enough. What about this? Takes. 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 Check. Rook h2 is not recommended. So you have to play king g1. And now I'm like checking again. You have to play rook g2, but it looks good. It looks like white's winning. Yeah, this is not good enough for black. He can't sack his bishop. There are other moves, though. Queen e1 check queen g1. That's not good. I don't think. Bishop d3. There are moves like queen f2 again. If you trade queens, you have chances to win. Rook h2, queen f1, queen g1. I missed that. But we probably don't even need that. Here, here. This is messy. I mean, this is pretty messy. I would say, I'm not sure. Unclear. The other variation was like better, but that's not the issue. But we need to find a move for like black here instead of bishop takes h3. Does this really work? Bishop e4? I would think like that would be a mistake, but maybe not. It's a nice idea. So now, if you take the pawn, you drop c3 and he's simplified. And if you move away from the A file, black grabs the A file with counterplay. Yeah, I mean the pawn remains on the board. So rook a1. Here, rook e1 is not possible. And he was starting perpetual check. That's why rook a1. Well, he's not threatening perpetual check, right? technically. Yeah, but there's queen e1 check, which is really a problem. But wait a minute. Oh, I see. So if rook e2, rook a8... Yeah, it's very hard to keep it all together. We're not winning. We've got to be careful that we're not worse here. Probably you should just like take on e4 and just accept that you're, you know, it's a draw. I think you've got to just accept a draw there. But maybe maybe the other move was a mistake. Maybe taking the bishop is a mistake. Perhaps you have another way to play here. He's starting queen takes h3 check. He's starting queen takes f4 as well. Yeah. There's just too many issues, like you said. I think it's just a draw. But now you could even be worse. Queen a7? Well, I guess the million-dollar question is when. You can play queen a7, but like queen h3 check, king g1, rook is hanging. So, yes, you have queen a7. He can't take on h3. So he has to move his rook or play queen. Oh no, he has this check. Now this is a problem, dude. Queen a7 doesn't work. You have to go back now and then drop your c3 pawn. Now he's threatening to really hurt you with like queen takes h3 check. No, I don't think the white is winning anymore. Yeah, bishop e4 was a fantastic move by black. And now you gotta be careful. I would just take the pawn, I think. I don't want to leave that on the board. Wait, don't you have rook? Okay, so rook e2 is actually dangerous because of this. White might like be lost here. This looks seriously problematic. Yeah, I'm not liking that. I think you need to eliminate the danger with this, and then after this, it's a draw. There's no way you're losing. I mean, you could play e6 if you want to. Actually, you know, come to think of it, maybe you're still better here. No, seriously, maybe we go down this line. You're threatening e6. I mean, you're actually still better. Just play the simplest line of all. Take the bishop. He has queen e1 check. Ah. Yeah, that's the problem. Damn. Wow. So he actually missed this in the game. Queen e1 check. He should have played this. This is better than the game. In the game, he actually, you know, could be in trouble here after queen e4. I think the threat of e6, I mean, queen takes c3. What's his best move now? Rook d8 or something? Take the open file, probably. And then you have to play like rook a1. Then he takes your pawn, and your rook's hanging, so it's probably a draw. Your b4 pawn's pretty weak. You're still up a pawn. I think it's highly likely a draw. But this is actually an accuracy. Yeah. I wouldn't leave that pawn on the board. What about a different move for you here? I still think you want to like try to get in that e6. So if you play queen I mean, this is even a possibility. Actually. I don't know if it's good or not. I mean, he probably just takes, and then not sure if you have anything here. There are some funny variations, like Queen e4. What's he gonna do? If he drops c6, you have two connected pass pawns, for example. With very sharp position. Let's just say, I don't know, rook e8, queen takes c6, rook d8. What's he supposed to play? Damn, it's the best move. e6 is your only winning attempt in this position. I thought maybe queen e4 directly. I don't know why that's not as good. Queen f2, your suggestion. Now that's such a huge threat that you have to be really careful. You might even have to play like that or something, you know. It's a draw. So this is the last chance. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting game. Queen d3 maybe not ideal. I guess you wanted to keep the d file, but that loses that pawn. Yeah. Yeah, so you kind of tilted, and now it's a dead draw. Fortunately, you're not worse. But I guess psychologically, you know, you could lose if you're upset because you like thought you had a winning position before. But I think it's still. Now g3 is a really dangerous move for you because it leaves your king open here, and it, yeah, you're flirting with a very dangerous f pawn here. I think you have to play rook e5. Hit his pawn, he plays f6, and then you go rook e6. Actually, you're almost winning. You're almost winning. Jeez. I mean, now he has c5, maybe? Phew. Is black holding this? Yeah. c5 is the only move that doesn't lose for black. Yeah, I don't understand. What does he have? Rook b5? Oh, he has rook b5. I wasn't sure about this. You probably saw this, and you didn't like this. This is an interesting endgame. I guess you're lost. Shit. I think it's probably lost. You need to get over and get in c4. Okay, so it's not so easy. Yeah, I don't know. You just have to play something safe. g3 is a really bad move. No, this gives him a really strong pass pawn. I can see you losing that. I would never play g3, but he has to just take. Maybe g3 is not bad, because you're saying, oh, if he takes, you have this, and you're playing h4? I guess it's not that bad. I thought it was really, really bad, but maybe not. I guess it's not that bad. Because after takes, he plays f6, you have h4, and then like rook b5. It's probably a draw. Okay, it's not that bad. No, I mean, you gotta take. You gotta take this. Yeah, this is your bigger blunder. Now after king g2, he should take here. And now black is better. Slightly. Yeah, you just like refuse to take on h4. I don't know why. It's crazy that you didn't take on h4. Yeah. I mean, you just destroy his pawn structure. It's crazy that he let you take on h4. Why wouldn't black play this? It's very strange. In fact, like, okay, you played g3, he played king g7. Why is he letting you destroy his pawn structure? He must have not seen this. He must have forgotten that he has rook b5, which holds the pawn. Oh, you're back. Well, that was quick. Alright. Yeah, you shouldn't take with the king here, because he has a very powerful f-pawn. Look, this is probably a draw, anyway. But, I mean, that pawn is so strong, like, I would never want to allow this. Like, okay, you blundered h4 and lost, but still you have to be careful. I mean, king f3, I don't like these pawns. These pawns are very strong. If anyone wins here, it's black now. That's a bad decision. You know, you shouldn't lead these powerful pawns together. You had a chance to destroy his structure with pawn takes pawn. This is weak, you know, I mean, this pawn on h4 is really weak. You're just playing like there. Or walking up with the king and then threatening this. This looks better for white. Now black has 3 Isolani. I mean, if he loses c6, he's lost. So, alright. Resident Spectator is back in time for the next game. Phew. Alright. Time for the second beer. But I mean, that should be obvious. It's kind of a really simple mistake to not take on h4. Oh no, not another game that I played. Come on, why do I have to analyze my own games every week? This is me versus Resident Spectator? I haven't been playing d4 that much lately. No, it's funny that it seems like the Queen's Indian isn't really as fashionable as it once was. But this was like all the rage for a long time. I mean, Bishop a6 was all the rage for like 20 years. I mean, really between like 1990, even before 1990. From the end of the 80s until, I don't know, early 2000s, even later. Such a massive theoretical variation. I only played it once with black in my life and lost. But it's so popular. Leiko played so many games. Karpov. Who is that again? K? He's on the sanctions list. Alright. So. Yeah, I mean, the best move is b3, theoretically. But it entails like billions and millions of variations of analysis. It's not a Mariposa. Mariposa means butterfly, right? This is not the Mariposa, dude. Alright, Bishop a6, Queen a4. Yeah, of course this move is controversial. Never play Queen a5. I've been playing this since I was a teenager. Black usually, most cases, will retreat the bishop back. If you want to try to be a pain in the butt, you can play like c6 and sack a pawn. Knight c3. I don't know where this stands theoretically. They used to play this, like b5. Yeah, that's kind of a play on Feingold. That's my Feingold. Queen a5 is always bad. But I never said queen a4 was always bad. Like, it's something, if you do it with white, you've got like an extra tempo. You notice Fungold says f6 is bad. He doesn't say f3 is bad. There's a reason for that, you know. That extra move playing with white usually means you can afford to do something kind of risky. So you might want to try this gambit. It looks like it's out of fashion. I always found that black got nearly enough compensation with that, practically. But anyways, this is like a main line. Rajabov Dinglaran 2021. Bishop g2, c5. Right, so I can also take on c5. That's the main line. And I was surprised by that when I looked at the Opening Explorer a while back. I guess because I play something, I assume it's the best move. I was never turned on by this move. I just don't know. I don't know why. I guess if black plays b takes, he could theoretically have kind of a backward pawn here. But I mean, for one thing, black can take with the bishop, just play a hedgehog. Like, what is the chances of Leko Kramnik? Talk about, like, you know, world championship match? That was the best. When I first moved here in Hungary in 2004, they were playing the world championship or whatever. That was before Topalov and the toilet match, right? Leko nearly held against Kramnik. But yeah, man, too many draws. Those guys were... That's a world championship match, huh? Leko Kramnik. Too many draws. Very solid. I like this better. I'm not going to develop my opponent's pieces for him. But the problem is I have to allow the exchange of these pieces. So takes, bishop takes g2, king g2, and now you're supposed to play queen c8, which I have billions of games with. I'm not like a world-leading expert, but I've played this quite a bit. Let's see. Player, Slaggy, White. I only have 8 games with this. And only 4 games with queen c8. But bishop e7 is probably okay. But you should do like queen c8 on the next move. So knight c3. Is it too late to do queen c8 for some reason? Rook d1. I would think queen b7 check. f3. Here's Nikolic Karpov. It said it again. Damn it! I should be fined every time I say that word. Never say the K word. Yeah, man, I mean, this is like the standard setup. But my friend Zlatko Linčić, he's like a scientist. You know, he plays like his variations, like the G3 Benoni, and this. He's got like all these like 25 new variations worked out in exact positions. Like, he always plays the same thing every single game, and he has it like scientifically figured out. Like a ridiculous depth. I just like, okay, you know, I play it, but I don't know, you know, exactly like what I'm doing. But I think what you did is probably okay. I think the one time I played with black, I probably did something similar to what you did. I lost to Linčić. I played it against him because he was so predictable that I thought, alright, I can play something I never play because I can literally prepare so deep, but he still beat me. Knight c3, castles, rook d1. Now you play queen c8, and we're like transposing. I found this interesting when I went over the game at the stream. Normally, if you look at my games, I bet I've played f3 or bishop g5. Didn't I play bishop g5 against you before? I told this on the stream that I played this against. I remember that I played this against Ilya Gurevich in a blitz game on ICC in like 1998. Because we only had like a handful of games. I really had very few games with Ilya. Maybe like a couple on ICC and like a couple in real life, like one or two. So I played bishop g5 against you before. I remembered against Ilya, I just like traded it on f6 and I tried to focus on the d file. But theoretically, like the bishop is stronger than the knight. But over the board, you know, this is kind of passive. You know, so over the board, I was just like, I noticed this was a possibility. What did that say? Queen b7 check. But I figured, okay, why is this not, you know, my thinking was like, why is this not okay, you know? Why can't I play e4? I mean, if I have to, I'll play f3 anyway. And the thing was, I mean, I've seen Zlatko play it a lot. He would get this formation, just kind of build up. But normally, most people do queen b7. Now, one thing that can happen is that, you know, you can get your knight into d6, but I have to watch the e4 pawn. So if I play f3, now you play a6, right? Like, this is the normal hedgehog. So you got Mecking versus Polgar. When he made that very short return, Mecking is like kind of crazy, and he's like a priest or something, but he also wanted to come back to chess, and he just very briefly made like a snap return and then disappeared again. This seems like it was yesterday, but it was like 20 years ago. Yeah, I mean, so black's score is quite okay. Bishop e3. The queen is slightly misplaced out on a4. I think that's what you should do. Okay, instead you play knight c6. And then we analyzed this after the game a bit. You know, I was surprised that Volkov took on c6. Volkov's dropped under 2600, but he was 2600 always, and he was like in the Russian championship and stuff. He was is a very, very strong player, but he's gone down rating wise. But I mean, fundamentally, I don't really want to trade pieces. This is something I might do against a grandmaster. You know, okay, queen c6. But one thing we noticed was that dc6 was better. dc6 was better, according to the engine. Maybe he only wanted to draw. Who the hell plays this that doesn't want to draw? You know? I don't know, man. Yeah, you know, it's a problem for black. You have to want to draw if you play knight c6. Of course. He's a 2459. He's playing Volkov. He would take a draw instantly. Of course, he'd love that. But, you know, the funny part is, maybe d takes c6 is better. We looked at this, e5, and knight here. And I think the engine said I'm significantly better. No? No. Thinking of a different position. Alright, I'm not better. I could be overextended, maybe. Okay, so black's fine. Black's fine. Alright. Yeah, so that's better. And ironically, the guy lost after queen takes c6. Queen takes c6, queen takes c6, d takes c6, e5. And now he's like, can't play knight d7. Knight g4, rook e1. Dude, that's a tough move to find for Volkov. I didn't really want to play rook e1. And now black got completely out of control, I guess. Rook e1 is a subtle move. That's Grandmaster level. He's discouraging f6. He can meet bishop c5 with knight e4, but it doesn't look very macho. Yeah, f6, jeez. Wow, f6 would have held for this guy. Unbelievable. That's a tough move to play against the 2600. Yeah, he can play f4. Right? He can play f4. But he's kind of overextended. The computer seems to think that black is fine here. Maybe white's a tiny bit better. I thought this was a good move, rook e1. And black didn't find it. He has to play f6. That's strong. So here, here, and you got this. So knight e4. I mean, I wouldn't blame black if he evaluated this as better for black. I mean, better for white and like bailed on it. He's got a bad structure. The pawn's very bad. I mean, Karpov would beat, like, I said it again. I need another, like, person to quote stylistically. Ulf Anderson would, like, beat other grandmasters from this endgame, even though the computer says it's equal. I mean, white is a tiny bit better, right? You could torture someone, for sure. Yeah, knight c6 is playing for a draw. If you have to win, you gotta go hedgehog. I told on the stream, I lost to Joel Benjamin in this almost exact position. It was different though. I don't think I actually played e4 against Joel. I think I played f3 and he eventually did some sort of weird knight g4. It was a hedgehog and I overextended myself and like lost. But the hedgehog's a good way to play for a win. It keeps the tension. Knight c6 is not. So, I tried something new. The computer hates my move. And I know that my queen is misplaced on a4. But at the same time, you know, I'm trying to keep d5 and I'm trying to avoid exchanging pieces in a position where I have more space. How bad can it be, right? I mean, sometimes in the hedgehog you're surprised that they can blast you with d5 in positions where it looks like it's not even possible. You gotta watch out for that. Maybe here. But he's gotta watch out. I mean, I've won games against people where I get a bind on the d6 square. So this is the game. Rook d8. Bishop f4. Now, by the way, I should mention, I expected black to play like knight e5. One of Excel Poker's favorite moves. But after b3, queen b7, x-raying this diagonal, I'm just not sure. I mean, it looks like he's kind of close to playing d5. But as I mentioned in the stream, I don't like having my queen like stuck out there necessarily. f3. This is like something that, you know, I would expect a6. So you got the standard hedgehog breaks. They're remarkably similar how I lost to Joel Benjamin. I think I probably did something crazy like h4 at some point. But I mean, I don't know. I would have played like bishop f4 probably. Computer thinks that black is clearly better here. I'm not sure, you know, I quite agree, but my queen is very uncomfortable. I mean, what happens if black plays like rook f b8 and b5? Am I just in trouble? I can probably take an escape with my queen over here, right? Not so simple to like trap my queen or something. I guess my queen could get trapped. Some line. The moral of the story is that you gotta know what you're doing with black in this kind of line. Okay. Or both sides. Knight a5, b3, and never fianchetto your knight. Can you play d5? Yeah, probably not. Knight problem. You know, I did this middle game series for the Chess World a few years ago, and I talked about the Queen's Indian problem of the bad knight. You know, the bad knight on b8 is always an issue in the Queen's Indian. In this case, it finally went to c6, but it like gets in the way of the c file. I mean, right? I mean, it's also any Sicilian. It's always in the way. Like, it doesn't have anywhere. Where are you going to put it? So if you play a hedgehog structure, your knight should be on d7. This is his problem. Or instead of rook d8, you know, you should have played, like, I thought, first of all, queen b7. Then I'll play f3. Then you play knight e5 at some point, or you can reverse the order of moves if you like. Maybe knight e5 first, hitting this, force b3, then play queen b7, looking at this diagonal, and now f3. And now you have a regular hedgehog. You can play d6, knight d7 back. Is the same true for hanging pawns? Well, the knight is more active on c6, but often on d7 it like protects the hanging pawns better. Knight on c6 versus knight on d7, it depends on who has the hanging pawns. If you're talking about like white having hanging pawns, knight on c6 is better. I guess if black has the hanging pawns, then knight on d7 is better. So it all depends. Nice question, move 11. Very, very tricky. So black didn't really have a cohesive plan. I don't like knight a5, and then I definitely don't like knight b7. But I admit, like, my queen is a little awkward. So that's why I played this. Now, if he had a6 in, here's a good question. If he had a6 in, would I be in trouble here? Because, like, where would my queen go? What does the dog say? Let's just imagine the pawn is on a6. Would white have a serious problem because of the threat of knight c5? There might be tactical resources, like the bishop's not protected. You know, there's a lot more questions than there are answers. But I mean, basically I can get in trouble with my queen. But after this I felt okay. And after this I felt okay. You know, I'm trading queens, okay, and I'm better. I got the strong pawn on e4. As long as he doesn't have d5, he's going to be a little bit tortured here. I mean, I suppose like this should be considered. Leonid Udasin. I had this hedgehog with Udasin where he did like, I don't know, in exchange of white square bishops, I was black, and he like just took with his king on f3. It was a draw, but he was very comfortable with his king on f3. Man, the hedgehog is a good opening. I really don't ever remember losing with it. f3, rook a c8, f3, knight e8. Now that's kind of passive. You know, you had this stupid knight on b7, but now at least it's not bad for a fianchettoed knight. So you're not going to play d6 because of knight b5. So why don't we ask the obvious question? Why don't you play a6? Is b4 a problem? Most likely not. I feel like, you know, black has to stop knight b5. This is just too much of an issue. I mean, knight e8 is a solution, but it feels kind of passive. Nevertheless, I still didn't play knight b5. If knight b5, maybe I didn't have anything. Okay, Knight b5, a6, knight a7, rook a8, bye-bye, nice knowing you. Okay, doesn't work. Alright, knight e8 does still feels passive. I wouldn't play it by choice. I would prefer to play a6. This isn't a problem, because like after knight b7, as bad as it is, I have 2 pawns hanging. I can't protect both pawns. I mean, I could do like e5, but then again, it's just that. I'm overextended very easily with b4. So knight e8, I just played this. Now a6, looks like a good move. Rook d1. And now finally you played d6 because you felt like you had to. But it's a normal move anyway. And at this point I like, okay, it's a blitz game or whatever. It was like, what was this? Rapid? 10 plus 5? White's slightly better. It's just a very standard kind of ending. So I just grabbed some space randomly. And now black like freaked out. I think this is a mistake, man. I didn't like g5. Maybe it's not that bad. But I don't think you want to have these pawns on dark squares. You know, more pawns than necessary on dark squares. Plus it gives me the break with h4. It's definitely playable, but I don't think you should. I think like it's not necessary. Having said that, I mean, I can feel like black's a little confined and might want to grab some space. Let's see what the computer says. It's the best freaking move. No. Best move in a bad position. Damn, dude. But just, there's some truth in what I said. So h6 is better than g5. No. I'm surprised how big my advantage is. Yeah, computer doesn't want to commit to g5. h6 is a bit safer. Not as committal. Okay, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of good moves. He's totally, like, pinned down to d6. You could like play king f8 or something. But I don't like fixing the pawns on the wrong color. Now I played h6, and now, you know, I was planning on h4. Well, if the computer likes g5, that's because you don't have a better move, you know. You just don't have a good move. So, you have to play it, there's nothing better. But I don't want to play it, you know, I don't want to put all my pawns on the wrong color unless I have to. But here I'm going to break with h4, and, well, what happens, let's see. This looks like a reasonable move. It's a tedious position for black. I kept wondering about, like, bishop f6 at some point. Because you play g5, you might be able to establish an outpost square for your bishop here. But I guess I have bishop g3. You know, I'm there first. I was here first! You know, that might, like, force black to make kind of an unpleasant move here. And then, doesn't look great. Something to think about. But g5 is lesser of the evils, rook c7, and then h4. Look, I don't think I'm like winning here. You know, I thought I was slightly better, and I'm making a practical decision. h4, cd7, nice solid move. And then I decided to take, but I'm not sure I would take if I had this to play over again. I feel like I should keep the tension in this position. I think taking was like really not necessary. I mean, if you're going to take, that pawn is weak, it's going to fall anyway. Why should I have released the tension here? I was just impatient. I have lots of good moves. Well, you want to do that. Bishop takes c5. It's busting the X's on us. E5. XL Poker is big on X. He's big on X's. X's that live in Texas. E5. Threatening. I like, these nuggets are just like takeables. Knight E4. Maybe I'm not threatening Knight E4 though. That could be an issue. Yeah, man. I mean, I've played it a lot with black. I've been squeezed before. This is a nice position. I mean, white's knights are definitely better than the bad bishop. That's totally playable. You know, XL Poker, honestly, when I played that game with Ilya Gurevich and Blitz that I referenced 20 years ago, I mean, that's like a standard plan. We can go bishop g5 and actually trade it off. And sometimes the knights are just better than the bishop and knight. Black has the one main pawn on d6 to start with, right? The d6 pawn is enough sometimes for white to get an advantage. But I don't think I should have exchanged, and then he blunders with bishop takes g5. So you have to take with the h pawn. I mean, you're not going to get checkmated on the h file, are you? It's not like that. This was just a impulsive move by black that ruined his position structurally. So after h takes g5, I'm better, but I don't know if I'm winning. I mean, it's probably like Excel said, like takes e5. White's better. +2. Let's see. It's significant. This is like right on the borderline of draw or lost. Literally. Never play f6. Ben Feingold. The only move that doesn't lose by force in this position is f6. So you know where to go for your general rules. The only move that doesn't lose by force. Because this pawn is like wrecking his day. You know, you gotta destroy it. Knight e4. What a beautiful position. Yeah, this is my problem, d5. Hard to say, yeah, hard to say, but it's very unpleasant for black. You know, the other thing is probably you shouldn't have done this rook thing. Your rook's protected on d8. This is bad. Now the structure is a real issue. Secondary weakness. And this is actually funny. This is the best his bishop has been. After bishop f6, he was like, oh, I'm going to trade it off, my bad bishop. I don't know, though. Honestly, a5 is a big threat. Yeah, I mean, after knight b7, e5 is coming anyway. Probably bishop takes c3, not such a bad move. But you have, it's just, yeah, it's lost. It's really bad. Almost to connect 4. And this is like fancy, but my original plan was to play knight e4 and just like stick my knight on d6. It's probably not that good. Knight e2 +7. I am up a pawn. But this is kind of fancy. But it's good enough. The pawns are too strong. His knights are ridiculous. This is the worst knights ever. Never fianchetto your knight. He just loved being fianchettoed that night. He just went back to b7 and back to b7 again. Yeah, it was bad. d4, knight f6, f3. Yeah, it looks like something that World Loser plays. You know, Steinitz did that in the Queen's Gambit, I think. Like on move 4 or something. Yeah, I mean, f3 is bad. c5. d4, knight f6, f3. Well, d5. and then c5. Fix it and forget it. After f3, we played d5 with the idea of c5. So you play like a... Yeah, you can play a... You're playing... Yeah, you're transposing to a black Mardemer. Your best is to transpose to the black Mardemer. Alright. What are we doing now? Hey, it's Miro. He's still sleeping. Alright, this is Hey, it's Miro with black. Late, Saeed, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining our community. We have 19 players who are interested in seriously analyzing chess. Alright. The Jerry Springer show of the chess world. Sledgy on Twitch. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. You are welcome. Thank you for being a constructive contributor to the community. A CCC. Alright. Oh, this is Hey, it's Mirror with black. Alright, so I fully advocate bishop c5. I'll say it. This is what I'm going to play. I mean, I just hate this knight g5. Even if it's not that good for white, it's really annoying. The Hungarian defense like almost loses by force, so I've played d6. I had a funny game where I've played g6 as a joke move. People play h6 all the time. I'm just trying to think, I played some weird game. You can play f5, right? Forgach Chula. If you really want to be crazy, you can play f5. I like how all the beginners on lichess will do like bishop takes g8 or something, you know, that's funny. The b6 mouse slip. Yeah, you just play b6 and you're like, oh, I'm gonna quit chess, and then you like play like a genius and make the international master like struggle for a draw. No, seriously, I like bishop c5 best. This looks like it's playable, but I doubt great. I couldn't find anything concrete against that. Bishop e7 really sucks. By the way, you know, what's his name? Someone on Sound's line is best, like d4. And I was like lost after this. This is like a crushing gambit. Or wait, did he play castles? No. You could play castles, right? Black has to play knight a5. I was showing this to Yubatas today. Like, who the hell knows that you should play knight a5 in this position? How is chess even logical if that's black's best move? There's like no way I would play that move without like having seen it, you know. I think the engine says knight a5 is black's best move. It's really disturbing. I mean, you could let it run all night on Leela Chess move 11. We'll see if it agrees or not. Might be kind of an interesting experiment. But anyways, so the point is, bishop c5 is recommended. Then they'll do these stupid gambits like d4 or something. I could care less, whatever. So, I mean, the Evans is interesting. The Gioco Piano is critical, or the Gioco Pianissimo. You know, if you want to play the Gioco, it's okay. But knight f6 is dangerous. Alright. And then d3. Okay, so the scary is knight g5. I think I'm like in a huge concert, outdoor concert here. Can you guys hear that? Do you hear that? Concert music in the background? You get a chess stream and an outdoor concert at the same time when you watch my stream. I don't understand why they're having a concert on a Thursday night, though. I would understand if it was Friday. It is pretty faint. I'm just happy that it's like... It started out as like pop music. They probably just had like pop music on the radio piped in. And then now they have like some classic rockers or something, you know, so it was really annoying at first, but now it doesn't bother me. That repetitive kind of pop music that they play on MTV really, really irritates me. It's like that repetitive sort of talking rap, pop, whatever it is. Like that sounds the same constantly. As long as that's gone, I'm alright. So d3, bishop c5, castle, castle, c3. We got like main line with black castle pretty early. So I'm old school. I like a6. But Hayat Miro is he's a young Alaskan chess gun, so he's up to the modern approach to everything. a5 has become very popular in a lot of these Joko lines. I mean, maybe this particular position is not accurate for some reason. I like to be old school about things. I like a6. I want you to prove to me that's not good. Alright, a5. Now, what if you get blasted in the middle or something? Though that can happen after a6 as well. Ganguly, Andreikin. Nothing special here. Really not a lot of high-level games there. I mean, the thing is, like, b5 square can be beneficial to white. And I think, like, b4 is overrated. No, so I don't think we have to, like, be scared of b4. Carlsen, he always played with Trompowsky against me. He was an expert in Trompowsky. He made the GM title with Trompowsky. Now he's playing the Joko Pianissimo. It's crazy. Asterbate likes b4 a lot. That's a favorite of his, but I'm not afraid of it. You know, but you might want to think about your move order. I think a6 is the really kind of old school move. Like a6 right away. You can also play d6 and then a6, so there's like lots of different move order permutations. c3, a5, okay. So rook e1. Rook e1 is okay. It's not a bad move for white. Knight g4, rook e2. It prevents d5, or attempts to prevent d5, right? If d5 takes, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, rook takes e5, the old bishop takes f2 check. This actually wins material for white, right? Takes, here, check, queen f3, queen takes e5, and this drops. I mean, I've seen this theme a lot, but every single time it's like a little bit different. I don't really like trying to play for d5. But I guess if white plays really passively... WJ Loof is here. Serious about chess. Okay. Barbaric. Oh my god, there's someone named... That's gotta be a correspondence game. Dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna change my name to Barbaric. Vuktadja. Dude, that's awesome. William Barbaric. I'm gonna legally change my name to Barbaric. That way I can avoid all that preparation and stuff too. It's pronounced Barbaric. Anyway. I never heard of anyone actually named Barbaric. It's like William the Conqueror. William the Barbaric. That's crazy. It's gotta be a correspondence game. Alright. Anyway. Rookie 1. D6. We're back into some kind of main line. And now D4. Crazy! So Carlsen, so. Yeah, this is like the quintessential, like, boring Jogo piano. Perfect for Magnus Carlsen. Perfect for Karyakin. The other K. Those guys are such scumbags. Man, I saw, to get political for a little bit of a moment, apparently like Karyakin and Shipov were the worst of the patriotic Russians. According to Korsenkov, who's from St. Petersburg but he lives in Poland, he would kind of be an expert, I would think. Anyway, we're not talking about horrible monsters. This is about chess. So d6, d4. Yeah, why is there not one game where White played d4 here? That's pretty surprising. The big million-dollar question, do you give up the center and play hyper-modern? Is the problem bishop b4? There are literally 244 games here, and not one player played d4. So that is like... boop. Wait a minute. 244 games, not one player played this move. Something isn't right. You know, it looks like a playable move. It looks like a normal move. I mean, the first thing that sticks out is like bishop b4 is a tempo. So we can take, and he takes with the pawn, we can play bishop b4 gaining a tempo. I'm not that excited about that variation, to be honest. Because the bishop looks really, really badly placed on b4 at the end of the day. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we blow up the center. So it's like take, bishop b4, and then kaplam or kaplam. Like we have two ways to destroy enemy territory here. With d5 or knight e4. This is variation A. Lesson, destroying the enemy center. So let's say knight c3. That's got to be the best move, right? Knight takes e4. I don't know. I'm getting a creepy feeling like this might not be that clear. Just hypothetically, I guess we could play bishop takes, pawn takes. I don't like this. Knight takes e4. If we could get this far, it looks like probably black's okay. But just okay, maybe. Like, maybe. I'm not impressed by this. So I'm thinking we keep the bishop. But principles say like we shouldn't trade off our center. So according to principles, we should probably pull this bishop back. If we're playing by principle. There's one game here with bishop e6. White plays h3, preventing damage to his center. And now black played h6, which is lame. That is lame. This is the Madagascar guy, isn't it? I'm not sure. There was an IM from like Madagascar. h3, I was surprised. He was playing here in Budapest a few years ago. I was like, wow, they have an IM in Madagascar? That's crazy. Knight takes e4. We lose a piece. No, this slicey diagonal here. So that's nice, right? The bonus is this sort of thing. Or knight takes f2. That's never going to be a problem. Or he plays like bishop f7, that's fine. Black played h6. But seriously, man, I mean, I need to see your license. Knight takes e4. Rook takes e4. Ka-ching. I don't understand. Like, isn't this... I mean, okay, our bishop isn't great on b6. Well, it goes further. Very complex position. See what the engine says. Wow, a4? You'd have to pay me to play that move. That's crazy. Oh my god. a4. Who would play a4? Alright, I'm going to just bust out the engine here. What's the answer? d4? I am the engine. Nothing clear with takes. So, that's weird, isn't it? This 24-4, 244 games and no one's played d4. It's completely playable. I was right. I'm always right. I know everyone. It's not every day you like hear about an IM from Madagascar, right? I was surprised. This was like 4 years ago. I'm like, how the heck, you know, the internet, right? How can you become an IM in Madagascar? He played in all the Madagascar championships. What more isolated place could you be? Even like mainland Africa doesn't have enough tournaments for players to become like strong. That's crazy. There are 3 IMs from Madagascar. Well, okay. You can get some weird zonal result, but this guy's legit. I mean, he's 24, high 2400s. Galapagos. Okay. Therefore, you're right. But is Galapagos like a country? What is that? What are the Galapagos Islands? Are they part of like Argentina? What am I talking about? Are they part of Chile or something? Argentina? Anyway, this is a fun position. So you played bishop a7. Principled. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. So many players, the Madagascarian was afraid of bishop g5. Don't fear bishop g5. And now White played like an awful move. Well, Galapagos is a province of Ecuador. Crime rates in Ecuador are way up. Alright. Now the horror begins. Just when you thought... What? I need to see your driver's license for this move. This is like a bad move. Like, seriously. Welcome to the diagonal of hell. Bishop a7. Your dark squared bishop is going bye-bye. So, yeah, this is nuts. So just take on g5, and I think White is going to meet his maker. Turtle's just eating people. Turtle battles. So seriously, queen takes f6, this is gruesome. Far more gruesome than watching turtle battles. The ideas are more important than concrete calculation. I didn't find this by calculating all the variations. All I do is say, okay, He needs his archer bishop. That's his best piece. What's he doing? Take here. Take care, XL Poker. We'll see you on Sunday for the simul. White is nearly lost in this position, isn't he? Dr. Dynamico. This is the worst Joko ever. I mean, he has a good bishop on c4, but everything else about his position looks bad. Like, what is White gonna do? g4 is coming. He's about to get destroyed. So the only move is like h3. Then g4 takes. Bishop takes g4. Knight on bd2. And like White's lucky if he could survive. Not to mention the danger of the h file. What if I just play like g6, king g7, rook h8, and like go down the h file? Man, this is brutal. So, double question mark. Yeah. I was telling, hey, it's Miro. He's joining the shallow analysis club. Too many of you guys, Sumer, hey, it's Miro, Asterbait. I could just repunge. I could just go down the list like bang, 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 bang. They're just like not taking their time. Knight takes c5 is like an automatic recapture. I guess you can play knight takes e5, knight takes e5, and h takes g, and that's still pretty good. But I really hate this position for White. So at least he didn't play like d takes e5, which would be really stupid. Yeah, I mean, now you gotta take here. This looks really good for black. I mean, unless there's some sort of tactic, which I really doubt. This is brutal. The diagonal, the h file, the pawn, like the... It's like a, it's a scout pawn. Pawn scout. He's gonna infiltrate enemy territory and tell us, you know, some top secret information. This is awful for White. Welcome to Boring Land. You managed to win this game. You know, the thing is, like, I think he's actually still better here. Even after missing, like, 2 crushing moves. Black's probably still better now. Boom. It's not enough, though. Yeah, I'm afraid here White's hanging on. Just about hanging on. For the draw. This is like what would happen if Hey It's Miro played a tournament and like got paired with a 1700. He would be like +3 and not beat him because he gets to this ending. He can't win. Yeah, this isn't so clear anymore. Another horrific move by White. I think bishop c4. But there is a technical question about this. White's still not fully out of the woods. That's a bad move. Now you can play maybe b5. Yeah, good job. Hey, It's Miro waited a long time to try to play for an advantage here. But we finally got something. Now it's a 2 bishops grinder. But we need to undouble our pawns. Nice move. Probably a draw, though. but a chance to win. Bloop. Now we got pawn structure imbalance. He's playing better again. Wow, what's that? So I guess keep the tension. There is a technical problem, I guess. Bishop b6, rook d6. Shit. But I still think maybe we should consider taking. I mean, not taking. It is a problem, though. It is a problem. So if here I want to play this, there's this move. And this is hanging. Let's see, king f7. Rook takes c6. Oh my god. Yeah, this is like ridiculously complicated. Takes, takes, takes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm losing a piece. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Here, 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 and here. Check and mate. But anyways, take here, and then keep the d6 square under control. The second part of this game, so he played really well. They're letting it down in the beginning. Letting his advantage slip in the beginning. You've redeemed yourself. Now another scary little tactical trick. Man, that's an unfortunate turn of events. I guess we can make it work with 3 connectors. I was thinking take this first. Take this, but I'm not sure if we're winning. It's pretty complicated. Yeah, I mean, Spectacular Camel was talking about this, but I'm not sure. That's a nice resource. There's nothing like concrete analysis. This has the feel of a move that like saves White's miracle draw. No, it doesn't work. Yeah, so the engine thinks this is winning. I wasn't sure, but maybe White could get that. It's not. It's not. We just keep going. Okay, it's winning. So this move is inaccurate. Takes, check, here, here. We're still winning. It's good enough. Cutting it like way too close here. Yeah, that's a good move. Nice. King h1. Just resign, man. King h1 is not a serious move. Alright. Good game. Yeah, but he majorly let it down in the middle. Hayespear's got to slow down and take his time in critical positions. Alright guys, we have 2 games left. The last 2. Nils didn't show up tonight. No, Mr. Slow hasn't been here for a while. Move 11, no submission tonight. Schumacher versus Boa Constrictor. Boring Constrictor. Boring Constructor. Oh, you're last. Mr. Bites is Spectacular Camel, aka Yabatis. Last. No, I mean, the thing was, WJ Loof, normally, yeah, three protected pass, connected pass pawns would be crushing, but I just sort of assumed that like he would pick one of them off, because a couple were on white squares. No. No, he had it under control. It's only 100 degrees here. I can be forgiven. It's cooled down to like a cool 98. Not an IMSO, please. C4, E6, knight C3. Okay, cool. Something different. Sumer is like the world. Our stream's leading expert on the Nimzo classical, but F5. Cool. So, Stonewall. The engine number one move here, bishop F4, going for a kind of Rubinstein, like web of dark squares approach. That's not a bad move. I would normally play like knight F3, and I guess on knight here, we're playing bishop G5. If black ever plays like C6, E3, bishop D6, we play like, later we'll play bishop F4. This is a classic game from the most instructive chess games ever played by Chernev. Rubinstein played white in a similar structure and traded the dark square bishops. I try to use that. So in other words, if H6, you would play bishop F4, not trade on F6. This is very good for white. That's the moral of the story from Akiba Rubinstein. Anyways, that's anti-Stonewall. So, but Sumaher has his favorite setups. Knight F3, Knight F6. Yeah, this is good. Bishop G5. He played this line. But now Bishop E7. Okay, maybe that's safer for black than trying to play like Bishop D6. There'd be no reason to do that. I agree. Probably best. It's a Korchnoi game from '99. Korchnoi versus a random guy I never heard of. Wow. Pretty good for a random guy I never heard of to be 2402. Because I've heard of most people. There's that guy again. Wow, he's got a ton of games. Hans-Jörg Kahnel. Must be Austrian or Swiss. He's probably Swiss. A Swiss Stonewall expert. Hans-Jörg Kahnel. Alright, whatever. I'm not up on my latest Stonewall experts. You know, you can play H4, man. You know that, right? Yeah, there's no reason to do this exchange right away, though. I think that maybe Sumer doesn't like the knight coming in here, but E3 is a normal move. If knight E4, what do we do now? I guess take, or just trade here. Well, you could take here, actually. Take on D5. What I don't like is this, though. After this, he kind of opens up his bishop a little bit. I mean, at least now the bishop can go like E6, F7, H5, and kind of get into the game. Another move that's favorite of Sumer is Queen C2, Bent Larsen. No one less than Bent Larsen played Queen C2. 21 games and no one played Bishop takes F6. It's your bad bishop, but I don't see any reason to make this exchange unprovoked. E3. No, nevertheless, this piece is a strong defender. C6. And now we do have some examples. You could possibly play H4. That doesn't leave us with any breaks, though. So Carsten Hoy played Bishop E2. I mean, with the stonewall structure, I'm not sure that bishop d3 does anything. But I like kind of like queen c2. Where are you going to put your king here? Do you want to castle kingside? I mean, do you want to castle kingside into the stonewall advance? Or do you want to castle queenside, or just keep your options open? If you play this, you might be able to pivot the knight back to e2, bring it up to f4, and do a kind of close setup with h4 with no bad pieces. I'm not that enthusiastic about bishop e2. Like, what am I doing, you know? It's no offense to Carlsen Hoy, but I think, like, at least this is a plan, you know? This is a plan to maneuver over there. Plus, there's a little bit of pressure on that pawn on f5. We might be able to increase the pressure on f5. I like this move better. Castles. So we got one game here from 07. Queen c2. Yeah. It's reasonable. You're going to have to watch out for knight a6. Number one move. He plays bishop e7. This is like, what are you doing? What is that? Luis Chiang against Skomarokin. I bet almost anything, like, that wasn't Skomarokin's last move. You know, this position must have been reached by a different order of moves. There's no way that Roman Skomarokin is playing, like, bishop f6 back to e7 here. I seriously doubt that. You think he really played it so, like, protects f5? I would really doubt that. So anyway, bishop e7, castles queenside. You know, I don't know. Do you want to commit? You can play h4. I don't know. Chiang played h3. He wants to break with g4. But I think there's more than one way to play this position. I was thinking h4, and then we do the kind of blockade. But he wants to open it up. He wants to open it up with g4. This is crazy. Boa Constrictor. Dude, you just moved your bishop like 3 times in a row. Black has to develop his pieces. I mean, at least try like knight a6 or something. You know, come to think of it, can we play c5? We're gonna get destroyed by this, right? This problem. Tactics, diagonal, lose your queen. So, gotta watch that center. Here's wasting too much time. And then he does the Luis Chiang. But actually, you know, you might, maybe you don't even have to do the Luis here. You can play g4 directly because you got this strafing diagonal. I don't know if it's good, but I would at least consider it. Takes, bishop takes h7 check, king h8. Do we have anything? Really wish I had h4 in. You know, that's an interesting plan, actually. Maybe you play h4 with the threat of g4? Let's see what the engine says. Oh, shit. Number 2 move. Survey says number 2 move. Yeah, this looks like you're just blockading, but suddenly you're threatening g4. And then when you do that tactic, you'll have the knight on g5 as an anchor, creating all sorts of mating threats and stuff. I'm sure that he thought about it. But the Chiang method is like, it's first of all, it's like you're telegraphing your whole plan. Secondly, it's maybe black can do like g6 and hold. It's like very obvious what white's doing there. What? I mean, I don't like the G file, but I mean, I think we have to, like, you know, do this. Check. King h8. This is Stonewall. This is your brain on Stonewall. Like, at least, like, keep the Stonewall, right? I don't understand, like, how can black just, like, sack his central pawn? Here. G takes f5, E takes f5. What's this? Okay, he's just like losing a central pawn, no big deal. And maybe Sumer's right, he didn't even bother to take it. I mean, this is totally good for white, I'm certain. But maybe this is even stronger. Another problem. So basically this move is the only move. This is strong. Breaks the structure. Here, we go to the G file. He plays King H8. It's still not that easy for white to break through. I mean, maybe H4 and H5 anyway. White is clearly better. Yeah. You have cool ideas like this. Here. And then maybe Knight G5. This is gonna be real ugly. But maybe black can hold it together. Anyways, it's over now. H4 here. Can I do H5? You did it. He's got to take the knight, sack the exchange. Okay, thematic. Maybe white isn't winning, but I mean, you definitely have good play. Check. Takes. I don't know if it's winning, and you've got to watch the C file here. Scary. So he went back. A6, Knight G5. And white is very well coordinated. I mean, now we're talking about that again. This looks very scary. So he went to B3. I guess on E2 it's too easy to defend with this. I would imagine like white's still winning though. I mean like here. There's no way black's surviving here, right? Rook takes here. That looks crushing. But not, apparently. Wow. Rook G8. He's okay. Unbelievable. Rook takes H5. It's only equal. I guess the exchange sack isn't that acid test as I thought. Classic rock concert. You can hear that. It's a shame like Iggy Pop isn't coming to Budapest. I don't go to those big concerts though. I would see like bands if they play in like a small venue, but I hate like big concerts. This is just some like free music in the park or something. Knight B6. Surely Bishop G8. Yeah, going back there. I had the same assumption as you. Once I bought tickets to the Melvins, they were going to play this small venue in Budapest and they like bailed. Iggy Pop is still around. He was touring in France. But I think he lost his voice or something. He had to cancel some shows. But he didn't come to like Eastern Europe. It was just like touring in France. Light. It was a light tour for an old guy. Oh no, Knight G5, Bishop G8. Yeah, I agree. That's what I expected, but I think it's not good. It looks like Bishop takes F5 is too strong. No, the Stonewall guy probably knows what he's doing here. It's interesting to see. Sumer has 2 minutes against 8 here. Yeah, these guys gotta keep doing concerts to stay flush with cash. Sumer started, it was okay, it was a berserk. He berserked against the 2200. He has compensation. It was a reasonable exchange sack. But he's always like submitting blitz games. Yeah, F4 doesn't seem right. problem is he can't get his queen over to the other side. He's like cut off. Why not queen d1, actually? He didn't see it because it was like a retreating move. This looks really strong. I mean, I'm not sure we're winning, but I mean, white can kind of coordinate and build up on h5. Wow. So it blunders d5. Jeez, that sucks. So this doesn't work because of bishop h2, and the d5 pawn suddenly falls. Unbelievable. But he can preface it with rook h1, with the idea of here. f4 seems slow. Now he did it. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really want to trade pieces, but this feels kind of clogged up. Now the second pawn, if this falls, I think white's winning. He's going to have 3 connected passed pawns. That's got to be winning. You don't really want to trade queens here. Could be like some jazz playing or something now. Bishop c2. You don't want to trade queens. This is very awkward. We didn't want that to happen. a3. It's a blitz game, but black has tons of time. King a2. Oh, black wins on time. Black wins on time. Sumer lost on time. Unbelievable. That's what you get for berserking. So you're winning here, right? If you had just played a3 first. Well, you retreated your bishop to the wrong square. So let's say bishop d3. He still has here and here. Does it matter? Queen g8, queen f3, queen g1 check. You know, if you compare this, there's no perpetual check here. White is winning. Plus you've got this. So he just retreated his bishop to the wrong square. Yeah. This created like counterplay with black having mating threats. That's so sick. Or if you just had a3 and you'd be totally winning. But now he has this counterplay and that messes him up. And you end up losing on time. But a good game. You should have won it easily. I did my errands to PA. Oh. What do you mean you did your errands to PA? You're not in PA? It's in the high 90s. Yeah, it's like 100 here. On Saturday, we're going up to 108. It's like Arizona. Arizona, Hungary. Alright. Yeah, will I be able to do the Sunday simul? No, wait. Did I say Sunday? I guess Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. No, Sunday's going to be alright for the simul. Yeah. My day off is 108. This is our last game. Mr. Bites is black. f4, e5. Let's flip it. F takes e5. So d6. It's a Fromm's gambit. Now white played knight f3. And then I think like knight c6 looks interesting. Personally. I've played against g5 before. But as far as playing black here, I don't think I've ever played this. So bishop g4 feels wrong. Somehow, like, I don't really want to trade this off. Basically, it's a bluff. You know, I just don't think black's going to trade that off. Unless it's like a forced mate or something. Okay, it's not a bad move, but I mean, knights before bishops, man. You know, knights before bishops. Horses first. Bishop g4. e4. Well, I would imagine White has all options, like knight c3. I don't really want to like win this pawn back necessarily. I mean, I'm not that sure that black is doing great here. White is a very strong light score bishop. It's not that bad though, Spectacular Camel. It's playable. I'm not sure if e4 is my favorite move for white. Okay, but it's interesting. So if you take on e5, what do we get? That would be like the normal thing to do to recapture. But you continue to play in Gambit style. Knight c6. Now I would anticipate bishop b5. I would play bishop b5. Definitely. This is not as combative. It's like a very safe move for white. So I guess there's a kind of tactic involved, like pawn takes pawn, knight takes, bishop takes, and queen h4 check, winning a piece. So white can't do anything tricky there. It looks like he has a tactic, but he doesn't. Now castles. White's very solid. That's another tempo check. King h1. Now you gotta seriously start thinking about the fishing pole here, right? Like c3, d4. So king h1, knight f6, hitting e4. Okay, that's a good move. He defends the pawn. I mean, I don't know. I would have played bishop b5 before, but White also has to consider knight c3, d3, and now the fishing pole. Here it comes. Of course. Ensuring no tactics. I guess bishop g5. I assume you would play something like maybe queen d6. Actually, I don't know where to go. Maybe d7. It's a wild gambit-y style game for black. You could even play bishop e7. I mean, if you want to be sound, you could play bishop back to e7. So instead, it was h5, h3, weakening white's king side. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, why? If you can't take it, then don't play h3. I mean, okay, it gives him like this square, but it weakens his position too much. Yeah, he's going to regret playing h3. I have this weird creeping feeling. Do you guys have that too? I gotta go soon, but do you have this weird creeping feeling that White is going to regret having played h3? Or is it just me? I'm not sure you're actually threatening to sack the bishop. Let's see, bishop h3, yes you are. You're threatening to sack the bishop now. So it looks like he has to try knight g5, probably. This is a fascinating position. This is really cool. I mean, if you take, queen takes, knight d4, queen somewhere, maybe white's okay. But you have a fascinating try here. Did you see this? If he goes knight g5, you have knight d4, double attacking e2. White is like paralyzed. If he takes, he's getting like stomped on with the dinosaur foot, like on h3. There's some like Chinese restaurant in China in the garden where they found dinosaur footprints. People were just like eating lunch there, and oh, look in the ground. There's like 10 million year old dinosaur footprints. Getting stomped. Knight d4 looks really strong, so he shouldn't do that, I guess. But this is definitely not healthy. He wanted to get stomped by this dinosaur. Yeah, it's kind of a mini game. H takes g4, H takes g4 check. Knight h2. Yeah, there's no rook sack, but we have this. The simple solution. Clean. Yeah, this is the only the only legitimate try, d4. I don't know if I'm a fan of rook takes h2 check. He does have bishop h5 at some point, right? So, from the purist standpoint here, I'm wondering if we have like legit forced mate. If anything works, I think we should play queen takes d4. Oh, do you have some other move? Wait, what did I just say? Yeah, rook takes h2 check. But I mean, seriously, is it mate? Rook takes h2 check, king g1, bishop takes d4. It's mate anyway. Alright. I like my variation, though. Queen takes d4. Can he get out of the mate here? Mate in 5, mate in 6. There's no way out. You could only delay the inevitable. This would be like funny. I'll just calmly trade queens. Just gently stepping on him. Because he just gives away bishops, right? Like queen takes, bishop takes. First one bishop, then that takes, and then another bishop, and then that takes. Oh, now he has what? Oh, rook f2. That's a very important move. Rook f2, bishop takes f2. This is like way better. You know, this would be more like elegant. You just like slowly take all his pieces while he's getting mated. Your way was just like way more brutal. Mr. Barbarich, NM Barbarich. Rook takes h2 check, king g1, and bishop takes d4 check. That's no fun. That's just no fun, my friend. So thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm going to call it a night here. It's very late and very hot. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. We've got rapid chess challenges tomorrow. Thank you for the support from those of you who have donated. Don't forget our senior tournament in November. Don't forget to add to the collection plate. Alright, so don't donate to your local church, just put the money in collection plate here. Much better cause. Alright, everybody, we'll see you Friday morning. Mr. Coffee, thanks for being a huge supporter of the stream and our star moderator. Thanks for being here, sir. Everyone, we will be back with rapid challenges tomorrow morning and simul on Sunday. I'm off for the 108 Fahrenheit temperatures here on Saturday. Thanks, WJ Loof. Good seeing you. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and thanks for the games. Bye-bye.